What's up, you guys? Welcome back to my channel. If you're new here, the name's Jaleesa. Okay, so before I start my video, I want to say something very quickly. It is very difficult for me to create a video right now. With everything that's going on in the world around me in America, making a video about books that I'm reading feels like the last thing I should be doing. It feels like I should be spending my energy and time doing something else, but I feel obligated to continue to walk in the things that I want to do in my life, and booktube is one of the things that I want to do, and I'm going to continue to do it. Before I get into the books that I am going to be reading this month, I want to tell you guys this. I am a huge advocate for a lot of different people and a lot of different things. And you know, right now people like me, I'm a young black woman, people like me we're really having a difficult time right now, right? And we're trying to find our way. And so one of the things that I'm doing to find my way is booktube. Is a place where I can express myself, the things that I care about, the things that the books I care about, the authors I care about, the stories I want to read and share with the rest of the world. And I'm gonna do that. I'm going to link some resources below that you guys can participate in to help my community. Real change definitely needs to come, and I believe that it will come. I'm going to continue to be an advocate and give my voice and use my voice for anyone who feels like they don't have one, for anyone who feels like they're not being heard. I'm going to speak up. So that being said, let's get into my June TBR and start it off, right, shall we? So the first book on my June TBR list is The Bells. The synopsis to this book was a little confusing to read, but from what I got from it, it is about this young woman. Her name is Camellia. I think that's how you say her name. She lives in Orleans and she wants to become a belle. And you know, bells, they're beautiful. People want to be like them. People want to be them. So Camellia doesn't want to just be a belle. She wants to be the belle, and by that she means that she wants to be the belle that Queen picks to come to the palace. So she would live there in the palace with the royal family. She would tend to the royal family, and she'd be recognized as the most talented belle in the land. She realizes quickly that, you know, being the favorite belle or being a belle period isn't everything that she thought it was going to be. Secrets are revealed throughout this story about the life of a belle, probably the life of the royals as well. And it says here that behind the gilded palace walls live dark secrets, and Camellia soon learns that the very essence of her existence is a lie, that her powers are far greater and could be more dangerous than she ever imagined. So the queen is going to ask Camellia to risk her life and to help save the princess. She has to use her belle powers to do so, and so she's split between two things. She's split between helping her belle sisters or risking her entire life and helping and saving the princess. And this book reminds me of We Were Liars because it has a map of Orleans. And yeah, so obviously this is definitely a fantasy book, which if you guys watched my booktube newbie tag, you guys know that I am a lover of all things romance novels, and I rarely ever venture out to read anything other than young adult romance because I love a good love story, and it's really hard for me to read anything but I feel like this book is definitely going to help me branch out into like the fantasy world. It seems to me as though this book will definitely have a strong female presence, so I'm excited to read this book. So the next one is called The Year After You. So this girl, her name is Kara, and her best friend's name is G. On New Year's Eve, they have an accident, a car accident, and Kara survives, G does not, and Kara has to spend the next year of her life trying to grieve her best friend and try to understand why she made it and why her best friend didn't make it. So she wants a fresh start from where, you know, the crash took place. So she moves to Switzerland and she meets these new classmates who kind of make her like break down her walls and open up about who she is and her life before Switzerland, because of course for that whole year before she kept to herself. She was guarded. She didn't want to open up to anyone. She was grieving and she was having a hard time, and so these two friends of hers, they kind of forced her to open up. And as she gets close to one person, his name is Hector, the closer she gets to Hector, the farther away G gets. And it's kind of like a battle between when you lose somebody that you care about and was close to you and you meet someone new. How do you keep that person in your life and a part of who you are while also letting somebody new into your world? I mean, I think it's gonna be a great story. The next one is not new. So it's called The Hate You Give. I'm sure a lot of you have seen the movie, or you know that it's a movie. And I always like reading books turned movies because I read 13 Reasons Why a couple years before the show came out. I read To All the Boys I Loved before the movies came out, and it's so interesting how they try to take a book and pack it into a movie or a TV show. It's really hard to do it for a movie, I think. I think shows do a little bit more justice for the books because you kind of have more time to work with, but movies try. I heard this movie was great, so I'm gonna definitely watch it, but I'm gonna read the book first. So, The Hate You Give is about a 16-year-old girl named Star. She lives in a poor black neighborhood, but she goes to school in a fancy suburban area, and her childhood best friend Khalil ends up getting shot, and she witnesses the whole thing. It's national news at this point. And, you know, people are stereotyping him and his death and why it happened and how it happened. The only person who knows the answer to those questions is Star, and she's struggling with, you know, telling the truth to the world because it could change her life, it could turn her community upside down, but her community is basically a war zone right now because they want to know what happened to Khalil, and only Star can answer that question. So I think this is going to be a read that I'm going to thoroughly enjoy. I don't know what took me so long to order it and to read it, but better late than never. So the next one is Field Notes on Love. You know I gotta throw a couple of romance novels in here because that's just who I am as a person. So Hugo and his girlfriend Margaret were supposed to go on a trip together by train, but Margaret breaks up with Hugo, but he has to go on the trip because his tickets are non-refundable. So Hugo puts out an ad for someone who can replace Margaret to go with him and accompany him on this trip. And so May sees this ad and she's like, okay, we have the same name, so like I could totally do this. And May is a young woman. She's supposed to go off to college soon, but she got rejected from a film school that she wanted to attend. And so she reaches out to Hugo and they embark on this journey together. The question that everyone's aching to find out is what happens to May and Hugo when they get off this train and their trip comes to an end. So that's the question that needs an answer. So the next book is called Monday's Not Coming, and it's about a girl who is best friends with a girl named Claudia. And so Claudia goes to school one day and Monday is not there. And she's like, where's her best friend Monday at? Like, what's going on? So 2 days go by, still no Monday at school. 2 weeks go by, still no Monday at school. And Claudia is trying to figure out where her best friend is at. Her best friend goes to her house asking her mom or sister what's going on, and they have no idea. And nobody can seem to remember where or when they last saw Monday. And so with little answers to go off of, Claudia embarks on this journey to find her best friend and find out what happened to her. And I love a good mystery book. I really do. Like the ones that kind of keep you guessing, but like it's not too complicated where you can't figure it out. Because I have this thing where I feel like I'm an FBI agent. I think I can figure out anything. And so I absolutely think that I will be able to uncover the truth before the book is over. So the next one is another romance because that's just who I am. It's called By the Book, and first and foremost, the cover of this book is so cute. I think that's why I ended up getting it, because I saw the cover. I actually did not intend to buy this book, but I had placed Field Notes with Love in my Amazon cart, and it, you know, like at the bottom of the screen it'll say people who bought this also bought this, and I was like, okay, let's see what else other people bought because I might buy it too. And lo and behold, here goes By the Book, and I'm like, whoa, this is so cute, too cute to pass up. So I didn't, and I bought it not really knowing what it was about completely. I just was like, the cover is adorable. But pretty much this girl, her name is Mary, she loves classic novels, she loves to read, and she always talks about how heroines, you know, in books, they go after the bad guy and they see all the red flags, and yet they still end up chasing or falling after the bad guy. And she says she would never do that. Well, she meets a guy and he is just like the guys in the books that she reads, and she's supposed to steer clear of him, but she can't steer clear of him because the heart wants what the heart wants, of course. Next is a book called Dear Martin. It's about a young black boy. Justice is the captain of his debate team. He's valedictorian of his school. Really good boy. He's smart. Comes from a rough neighborhood, and so he leaves his neighborhood, you know, and attends this school. Well, he has a run-in with the officer, and he ends up handcuffed. And so after that situation, he feels really indifferent towards police officers at this point. He ends up with a white female as his debate partner. Her name is Sarah Jane, and he ends up falling for her. And so, you know, he takes to Dr. MLK's teaching in his I Have a Dream speech, and he wants to know if, you know, if the world is holding up to the speech that he gave, his infamous I Have a Dream speech. And so he writes a journal to Martin, and he wants to uncover whether or not he feels like this world is living out the dream that he had. And I think it's going to be a really good read. I think it'll be a timeless book. So we're going to give this one a try this month. And the last one is called Emergency Contact. Of course, I have to end with a romance novel. So this book is about a boy and a girl, Penny and Sam. And Penny, you know, she has good grades, her friends are cool, she has a boyfriend, she lives a pretty average life. She's going to college soon. She's excited to leave her home behind. Sam, on the other hand, is a young teenage boy. He's aspiring to be a famous movie director, but he's currently living in his cafe, and that's where he sleeps at night, and that's the cafe that he works in. And so the two of them meet, and the book describes it as, it's not a meet cute, it is more a collision of unbearable awkwardness. But they end up swapping phone numbers, and they end up texting, and they have this texting relationship. We already know they're gonna fall in love, but we don't really know how yet, and I'm excited. A lot of it's written in text messaging, so I like the idea of, like, I feel like I'm peeking into someone else's phone. It's cool to see, like, books written where you can see people's phone conversations and, you know, also see their life play out in real life. So, like, we're seeing the two of them come together in a text message, but we're also watching their lives play out in real life. And I think it'll be an interesting book, especially right now. You know, people are quarantined and people are having texting relationships. They're meeting online, they're online dating, because you really can't go out and date traditionally right now with everything going on. So those are all my books, all 20,000 of them that continuously get delivered to my door. So I hope you guys enjoyed my TBR. I definitely plan on doing some reviews on some of these. If you guys want a review on any specific book before you buy it, drop a comment in the box below. In the meantime, between time, I have a book that I need to go finish reading right now. So I'm gonna go, but don't forget to check out the resources I'm gonna link below. And with that being said, I will see you guys next time.